Hey everybody, my name is Lindsay and welcome back to my Flosstube YouTube channel. This is episode number 2 on Monday, May 15th. First off, I want to wish a very happy birthday to my sweet niece Riley in North Carolina. She is having a birthday today, so I just wanted to give her that little special shout out today. This is episode number 2, like I said, and Delaney's not able to join me today. However, we want to both say thank you so much for all of the likes and the comments and the subscriptions that have come through from our very first video. I've over time heard so many new Flosstubers start their channel and say they can't believe what a warm welcome it is, and it's absolutely true. We're really pleasantly surprised and just happy to be here and part of this wonderful community. So we have been gone for several weeks as far as the video goes. It's been very busy. Delaney has her cast off now and is healing nicely, and will probably be back to her horse riding lessons by the end of this month. Our family has been busy, so that's why we've not been back sooner, but I have a lot to show you, so I just wanted to get started right away. Let me start first by showing you some finished objects. So I have some friends that watched the first YouTube, and it dawned on me, if you've never watched Flosstube before, you don't know what all the abbreviations stand for. It reminds me very much of our military lifestyle and the lingo that all the abbreviated words come with. So let me just give you a quick update. So when I say an FO, it's a finished object. However, it's not an FFO, which means a fully finished object. So when you finish something, it's something like this, where it's still on the fabric, or it's just not finished into something yet, either a pillow or a framed item or an ornament or anything of that nature. So this is an FO, a finished object that I did, and this is from Primrose Cottage Stitches. In the back of their book, this was the added bonus chart from the Beehive Rules. So I did this. This is a finished item. And now I have several fully finished items that I want to show to you today. So on that note, let me go ahead and continue with the Primrose Cottage Stitches. I shared some sneak peek photos of this as a work in progress, and then as I started to work it into a pillow, but I am so in love with this finish. So this is from Primrose Cottage Stitches. I would rather be stitching. This is a great little pillow. I love this design, and I bought the fully finished, I bought the finishing kit to be able to finish it the way that they have, with the coordinating fabrics and the pom-pom and the rickrack and the little handmade buttons from Just Another Button Company. So I'm not gonna lie, the rickrack was a little tricky, but I got it to be sufficient enough for my liking. And I don't usually finish pillows off this way. This is kind of a cute little thing that they do. They finish it by fully enclosing it and stitching it, but then they cut into the back of the fabric of the pillow to stuff, and then they put on wool pieces, which is kind of cute. So I took what I had on hand, which was Heat and Bond Light, which I used to use on the back of my appliques for children's shirts. I put the Heat and Bond Light behind the wool and press these onto the back. I may put some cute little buttons or something another day, but for now, I'm really happy with this finish. I love it. So that's an FFO, a fully finished object. And last but not least, I was working on Hive Rules, and last time we were here, I showed you from Primrose Cottage Stitches my Autumn Rules finish. And now I'm happy to say that I have fully finished the Hive Rules, which I started last year and finished this year. And here she is. I used the same board as before. I made my first cover button and some homemade bows. I am not a bow expert, but I'm learning, so I'm proud that I was able to do that. I'm gonna back it up just a little bit so you can see it. So I'm really happy with this, how this turned out. And like before, let's see, I'll just take it apart to show you. There's a magnet up there. Or rather, that's a washer, and it's on the same board as the Autumn Rules. And so I've got washers on the back of this. This is all one piece that I hot glued together. It fits in there perfectly. And then my bow goes back to the washer. So I love that it's interchangeable and I can put my autumn rolls back on later in the year for that season. So moving right along, and I did use all the called for colors, and that is on white 14 count Aida. Okay, and just for the pillow, the bee pillow, this is on 25 count white Lugana and called for colors. So I showed you a couple of pieces the last video that were finished, however they were not fully finished. I mentioned that I had ordered some picture frames to frame them into off of Etsy, and I have them here with me today to show you. These picture frames can be found on Etsy through Signed and Numbered. They're located in Salt Lake City. So here's my first item. I hope that you can see it without too much of a glare with the glass on there. I'm trying to find it there. It's pretty good right there. This is a Brenda Gervais piece, but first coffee. I did use the called for colors. I think I changed the section of a dress, but it was still one of the same colors. Everything else is the same, and I love it in this frame out in my kitchen next to my coffee pot. And it does come with a little peg on the back to prop it up in my kitchen. So that is super sweet. And I also showed you this finished piece last time, but here it is also from the same frame shop. And I found the best color I could. I think it matches really nicely. Sorry for the glare. That's something that I'll have to work on each video getting better at. And so there's that. Both beautiful pieces. The next fun little thing I did, I wanted to take the Lori Holt Stitch Card Set O and stitch those out for my bedroom. And so I finished that, and I also did a little sneak of this on my Instagram feed lately, but I'm going to show you this little dough bowl set that I made. I'll show it to you one at a time. I took those stitch cards and I made them into little bitty pillows. They're really, why is everything that's miniature so cute? But I had some fabric. I used to belong to the club, the Sew Sampler Box from Fat Quarter Shop, and I had 2 charm packs from Laundry Basket Quilt. The line was called the Seamstress. So this fabric I picked out from those charm packs. That's one. I simply took a charm pack, which is a 5x5, I believe it's 5x5 piece of fabric, and I cut it into 4 equal strips, and I sewed it across the top and the bottom, and then on the sides, and then squared it all off and found a coordinating piece to go on the back. I really love these little designs and the pillows. I don't remember there being this little stitch line around other sets, and perhaps there are, maybe I haven't looked closely enough, but I really think that gives it a nice little pop. And this one I thought was super cute, like a little miniature sampler. So I have that in our master bedroom, sitting on my dresser, and it was just a sweet little finish, and I'm wanting to make more of those as time allows and for different seasons, things like that, for throughout the house. So that's another fully finished object. Let me set this back here. Okay, so those are my finishes, and next I just wanted to show you my current whips. So in the last video I told you that I was a monogamous stitcher for many months, over a year in fact, and then if you're not familiar with the Flosstube and cross stitch community, there is something that goes on during the month of May called Mania, and it sounds like it has been continually tweaked by many cross stitchers over the years to make it whatever is most comfortable for you, where some may start a brand new cross stitch project every single day of May, but I can't handle that. That would stress me out too much. And honestly, I didn't really have a plan to begin with. I had ordered some flosses online for some projects that some of the cross stitch patterns that I received from Market that I showed last month. So once those got here, I got really excited, and it just started to fall into place. It wasn't planned, but I decided to make several new starts for my Mania plan, and what I'm doing is keeping track of that in my book of days, which is a monthly calendar. I don't do stickers. I just don't have time for all the extras. So what I did is I started late, but I started on the 6th, which is a Saturday, and I'm just gonna go through. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 new starts, which is totally new to me. And what I'm planning on doing for the month of Mania is to rotate and just keep working on one. Like, so for instance, I started on the first Saturday of the month with Brenda Gervais' Home Sweet Home pattern. This is the one I got from Market, and I ordered the flosses online. And for one day, it just depends on how much time I had to stitch, this is what I was able to achieve so far. I think it's really, really pretty, even though it's just a very small start. It's beautiful. This is on 28 count mushroom Lugana, and I'm using the called for colors that are on the pattern. They're all right here. It is several DMCs, several week dye work, and excuse me, 1 classic color work. So that's that. Keeping that in my dot dot goose bag. There you go. The next thing I started was, I've been wanting to start a Sabbath stitch for quite some time, and I actually finally am putting that into a routine. So I started Plum Street Samplers. This I know. Also on 28 count mushroom Lugana. This is about 2 days worth because life has been a little hectic. So I just got, the first time I stitched on it, I literally just got that window stitched from the top of the church, and then the other night I was able to start on the outline, but I haven't accomplished much, but that's okay. That's life, right? So again, called for colors, which are several DMCs and several weeks and a few classic color works. And I'm keeping that inside one of my Lori Holt stitchy bags. The next project art up was by Heart in Hand. It's called The Everyday Things. It's a sweet little sentiment of a cross stitch pattern that I really liked. Again, same fabric, 28 count Lugana, which is mushroom color. And this is the small start I have on that. I've only worked 1 day on this, but it's going to be very sweet. All the called for DMC colors. I just love running my fingers through the floss. It's just so pretty and beautiful. And I'm keeping that in another Lori Holt stitchy bag. Then pick this up real quick. Okay, and next we have another Brenda Gervais. I have loved these patriotic sets for quite a while now. It's from the Red, White, and Bloom set. There are several patterns in here, but I started with the Liberty Garden with a sweet little, she looks like a queen almost. She's wearing a crown, but again, same fabric, and I have a very small start, but she's super cute so far. Loving her. Called for threads or flosses, which is all DMC, and I have a week's dye works. And I'm keeping that one in another Lori Holt zippy bag, and I got this cute little rooster to go with it. We used to have chickens last place we lived in. We don't have them here, but I miss them. Okay, and then I am almost finished. I have just a few more to show you, but I've had this Stitching with the Housewives July calendars crates for several months now, probably when it was first created. However, I decided to kit this up and put it into a bag, and I stitched for 1 day, and I'm going to be honest, I had to frog a couple different times, and that is another cross stitch terminology, which means you have to rip out your seam or you rip out your stitches because you've made a mistake, and they call it frogging because you rip it, rip it, rip it. Yes, it's cheesy, but it's also cute. So this is what I've gotten done because I ripped out twice in quite a lot of stitches. So this is on black 14 count Aida and called for threads. My threads are right here. I do really like these floss charms from Fat Quarter Shop. I put a little sticker on the back with my label maker and keep it all organized. Again, it's in another Lori Holt zippy bag. I do not have the picture of the pattern because this was a digital pattern that I kept on my iPad, but this is another Primrose Cottage Stitches that I did squeeze the day, I am making a lemon display in my kitchen, and it's going to be super cute, so I'll have to get some pictures of that once I get things more added to my Instagram page for you. And okay, this is my last whip for Mania. Again, we seem to be having a big theme here of Primrose Cottage Stitches, Home of the Brave. This was a special pattern that they came out in one of their, I can't remember, it was some sort of a stitching box that they had, but being that we're military and we love the country, I had to have this. So Home of the Brave, I am stitching that also on 28 count Mushroom Lugana. I stitch on this for about a day and a half. Ignore this little thread that's hanging out. I have to keep going there. But for so far, I'm working on filling in the free box. Called for colors on there as well. Here are my threads. And I am keeping that in my Chris Sherman, aka Winding Rainbows portfolio. Love that. So that is a quick run through of my Mania whips. And like I said, I'm just gonna keep rotating throughout the month, spending a day at a time. This is new to me. So we'll see how the week goes, or the month rather, and how far along I get on each of those. But so far I'm having fun. And since I'm a homeschool mom and life happens, sometimes I get to stitch, sometimes I don't, but that's okay. I try to stitch a little bit each day, but whenever time allows, that's the goal. So I have some items that I wanted to show you that I have ordered. So let's start off with some goodies here. First of all, I want to tell you about, I went to a local quilt festival. It was this past weekend here, and I was able to go on Friday afternoon. It opened Friday morning, and it was a lot of fun. I need to create an Instagram post or a video or something. I didn't take pictures of obviously all the quilts, but they were so gorgeous. I am a quilter, not brand new beginner, but also not a ton of experience. I did have that Sew Sampler box subscription for a while from Fat Quarter Shop and made a couple of items through that. And I've made, well, prior to that I made some baby quilts to donate, and I made one of my daughters a Christmas quilt, but it was very basic. So as time allows, I'd like to have more experience to do that, and stitching and sewing, and make that a part of this channel too. But for now, I want to show you what I picked up at the quilt festival. There was a woman there. Her name is, let's see, yeah, I have it right here. Pat's Sacks, S-A-C-K-S, because she does a vintage feed sacks trunk show in history. And it was really cool. And she also is on Etsy and Facebook. So I'll hold that up for you to check her out. She had a lot of different, basically feed sack cloth that she has rescued and brought back to life, either in quilt squares or all sorts of shapes and sizes of vintage fabric. And so there's a lot of history to the feed sacks and how women in the days when they didn't have money or much to go by would turn the feed sacks, the fabric, into clothing and linens and things of that nature. So I want to show you what I picked out, and I figured it would be a fun thing to start a new collection of. So I'll save my favorite for last. Okay, so for starters, I got this piece of fabric. It's like an off-white, but if you can see the raised dot on it, it's like an old-fashioned dotted, a raised dot. I really like that. That would be fun to use in many different things. This is very pretty. I love these colors and the shape of the flowers. So there's a bit of fabric of that. This is a beautiful vintage fabric. I don't know how large these pieces are, but I really love this color. Look, it even matches my shirt tonight. Very pretty. And then my favorite, because I love the color teal. Look at the beautiful flowers. I got a lot of this fabric. And they're all clean, there's no stains, they're fresh smelling, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them, but I knew that I had to have them. The other thing that I got at the quilt festival, and I'm not going to show it, if I can figure out how, I'll insert a picture, otherwise I'll put it on Instagram, is a very large quilt hoop. So I'd like to learn how to quilt or sew together my quilts basically by hand. And so if you picture a large embroidery hoop, this is like ginormous, but you put your quilt sandwich, which is the top of your quilt that you've pieced together, the batting in the middle, and then whatever fabric you're going to put on the bottom of the quilt, inside of this large hoop, and then you can sew through the layers by hand. So I'll be sure to share a picture of that in the near future if I'm not able to upload it to the video. So that's my quilt festival information. That was a lot of fun. I was glad to be able to go take a peek at all those, and they had some great vendors, so it was very interesting. So now to my haul, another Primrose Cottage item. They do cross stitching and quilting items, and I'm on both of those emails that they have, the newsletters. And they have something that's called a Friday free pattern occasionally, where within their emails they'll send you a link, and this was a recent pattern. And then I believe it's maybe the following week or maybe the week after that, that they make the kit of fabric available to you to purchase. So when I saw, I think actually maybe it is the other way around. You see the fabric pattern, the fabric first, and then they release the pattern. I may be mistaken, but anyway, that's the pattern. And this is the fun little kit I received to make that exact item. So I think it's a beautiful set. It has a little bitty miniature charm pat by Sweet Liberty of Moda by Brenda Riddle Designs. I'm excited to make this little table topper, basically. So that's super cute. I did purchase some new to me patterns off of some of the D-Stash sites on Facebook, and I'd like to go through those real quick. So this is one that I thought was very sweet, appropriate for springtime. It's got strawberries, and it's a little miniature sampler, and like I showed before, I'd like to start with some little miniature type of samplers. So that's one. And then I was able to purchase another Brenda Gervais. This is called Our Story, and it says home is where our story begins. And actually we used to have a board hanging in our living room with a very similar saying, something like that. Maybe home is where your story begins or something like that. So very similar. A Country Cottage Needleworks, a beeline. I was able to purchase this because why not with all the bees that I've been doing? Although I'm a little beat out at the moment, so that may wait for next spring. Plum Street Samplers, I purchased Woolamina. It's a cute little pattern. Okay, and then I believe, okay, with these two, I purchased these two together. I thought they were both very sweet. This one comes with a hat, and then we have Babies First, several designs. These are both by JBW Designs. And then I kind of got this set as a package deal. There were several patterns in there that I liked. Some that are just, okay, maybe not my style, but for the amount that they wanted was reasonable, so I went ahead and purchased it. So inside, we have this from Trail Creek Farm called Little Susie United We Stand. It's a patriotic stitch. A Pine Mountain Designs of February. It was really cute. I really like this heart in hand. Gentle heart, be always gentle. This is another reason I purchased this. A heart in hand sunflower sampler. I love that one. I'm not sure if I'll do this one or not. Not so much my taste, but who knows. Another JBW Designs with the dogs. It says woof. I have 4 dachshunds, so I thought that was pretty cute. A beachy scene with a sailboat. Another Lizzie Kate. Actually, there's 2. I'll show you. The Land That I Love, as well as USA Squared. Both cute little Lizzie Gates. Those should be pretty quick to stitch up. So, the only thing else I wanted to share with you tonight, this is going to be a very quick video because my co-partner is not here to tease me and add her little 2 cents in. So she hopes to be back next time I make a video and share whatever she's been working on. I did, however, want to say that I've signed up for what's called the next Friendsstitch. I believe the person who is doing most of the work is Heart and Hand, Cecilia Turner. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it is a virtual pop-up. So there has been another one planned for the Halloween time for the fall, and I'm not so much of a Halloween stitcher. I prefer to stitch for fall. And this one was, the theme was I love needlework, so that's right up my alley. So it'll be, I believe, like a weekend of virtual classes, and you'll get patterns. You can purchase merch ahead of time. So I ordered a t-shirt and the fabric, and I'm excited because I'd like to meet other cross stitchers around the world and get to know them. And I've just heard how many people have made great friendships and meet up online to stitch together, things of that nature. So I'm really excited to attend that, but that's not until October. But that's okay. I went ahead and signed before it got filled up, and I think that's all I have for tonight. So thanks for tuning in. And again, my name is Lindsay Zachman. You can also find me on Instagram under the same name, Lindsay Zachman. I like to keep it simple. And I hope you all have a blessed week and a great month of May if I'm not back before the end of May. And I'll see you next time. Y'all take care. Bye.